out east, they can hand it off to Almani, at the air unit. So if the air unit has to drop in for fuel, they'll ask Almani, hey, can you go ahead and take this over for us while we drop down and get some fuel over at Almani Airport? If they're going up north, they can always get the CHP and just say, hey, can you go ahead and take this thing? We're going to go back and grab some fuel.
I'm curious how that happens, Dave. When a pursuit goes into some other law enforcement jurisdiction, I'm sure they're handling their own issues in their city or in their area. How does that come into play? Because these pursuits come in through a town or a city so quickly
Sure.
that you really do have to act quickly on the ground.
Yeah, certainly. That's a good question. That's a very good question, Juan. And the reason I say that is because there's a procedure. You don't just pull off. I'm talking about the air unit. Now, the air units over, they say the LAPD air units overhead, and you have the sheriffs come up, or you ask the sheriffs to come in and take over the pursuit just to watch it while you drop into an airport and grab some fuel. But there's a procedure. So what they'll do is the secondary helicopter will come up overhead about 300, 500 feet above the initiating helicopter, and they'll tell them, okay, hey, we're just southeast here. I'm coming up. I'm southeast of you. I'm up 500 feet above you. I'm going to keep my eye on you until you pull out. Meanwhile, the TFO, the tactical flight officer, and the tactical flight deputy are exchanging information on a frequency as well as the pilots. Now, once they make visual contact, the secondary helicopter will advise the lower one, okay, you can go ahead and pull off. We got it. That helicopter will pull off, the initiating one. When the secondary helicopter sees the initiating one pulling off, and they'll say, okay, I'm dropping down to whatever altitude, I got you. And then the other helicopter will say, okay, I'm clear of the pursuit. I'll give you a holler when I get back up.
What a dance there, Dave. What coordination,
Yeah.
all going on as breaking news is happening down below. Dave, if you're watching, you can see here traffic is starting to pick up a little more where this pursuit is now. It looks like it's I-5 northbound, just past the 210 area. So you can see there, this is in an unincorporated part of the Santa Susana Mountains apparently here. About exit 166, it says there on the screen from our map view. Hit a little heavier traffic. Now it looks like things are lightening up a little, Susie, right?
Yeah, it looks like we're going northbound on the 5 near the 14 freeway,
Okay.
so near the Antelope Valley, in the Antelope Valley.
Santa Clarita, yeah.
Yeah, and as you know, this freeway is a long stretch. It goes all the way up to the Grapevine and past that, and we've done chases where we actually follow them through the Castaic area, and after
Right.
that we kind of have to kind of back off
Right.
because of the flight
Marine
airspace
layer
there and the
and all
marine
that,
layers and
yeah.
all those things. But looks like they're still going at a pretty good clip. I'm understanding that this pursuit, actually, we joined it at around 6:30, just a little after 6:30. So they've been driving for, a good 2 hours now. But actually, we're hearing that the car was actually stolen at 4:30. So I don't know if they've been driving this entire time. I know the pursuit didn't happen the entire time. But if they have been driving around town from Santa Monica all the way up to this area, which is the northbound 5 near the 14 freeway in Antelope Valley, that's quite a distance. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing at some point this car is going to run out of gas, Juan.
If they didn't have a full tank of gas, Susie, after driving for 4 hours continually and hitting that gas pedal, burning up more gas, my guess is that they don't have too much gas left in the tank, but we don't know. Look at this. This continues right here, I-5 northbound. As Susie was saying, just off the 14 freeway. It looks like it's going back to surface
Yeah,
streets,
looks
Dave.
like
Take a
they're
look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he's going to go ahead and turn around and go back into the city.
Maybe
Not
it
sure.
looks like
Making
Lyons
a
Avenue is where he
U-turn.
got off, and he made a U-turn here. CHP right behind him there. Got as close, I think, as they got all pursuit long, and maybe they're seeing a chance now to do a pit maneuver here because, well, maybe not because there's some cars in the way there, but
It's hard to see. Does it look like they're going back on the freeway now? Yeah,
it
does.
looks like they
Back
sure
onto
are.
on-ramp.
You were right, Dave. They made a U-turn right back on the freeway.
And you wonder why they
Yeah.
do that, why they even get off even for just a second and then make a U-turn. Maybe they decided, you know what, maybe this is not such a good exit for me to exit off of. You don't know. Sometimes, during pursuits, we've seen people go home. We've seen people drive to their friends' houses. You don't know where they're going and, what their mindset is. But as you just saw, they got off the freeway for just a second just to get back on.
And no word yet, Susie, whether or not the woman who was dropped off is in police custody or if police know who they are, because if they do, they could possibly use her as a tool to
get
communicate to the
information,
driver
sure, and to maybe
pull over.
call on their cell phone, on his cell phone, and maybe negotiate. Is that something that also happens as well, Dave? Have you seen that happen where they're actually calling them on their cell phone in the car and negotiating with them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's happened. Not very often, but it has happened before where they'll actually, like you said, they'll speak to that, hopefully that female, that passenger that they apprehended, and then speak to her, and hopefully she can give them the number to this gentleman and just say, hey, you're going nowhere. Why are you just taking off, and you're endangering other people? All you're going to do is make things get worse than what they already are.
Yeah, going nowhere is right, Dave, because we all know how these pursuits end. It ends with a code 4, hopefully, and someone in custody in the back of a CHP cruiser headed off to jail, which, of course, the start of a weekend will really ruin it for anybody who's who's risking so many lives out there.
Yeah, I know the CHP was trying to set up a spike strip in the Valencia area when the suspect exited, but that was such a quick moment. I don't know that they actually had time to set that up, because they can't anticipate where this guy is going to exit, obviously. And the spike strips, we've actually seen them, Juan, where they take them out of the box and they have to really throw that thing. They're heavy. And they're not easy to throw out there. They're not instantaneous. You got to really take it out of the box and then grab them and throw them with all your might. And that's hard to do when you have a car coming at that speed. Isn't that right, Dave?
Oh, yeah. It's got a lanyard on it, so what you do is, I forget how long the lanyard is, but when you get it, you fling it out there. And so that way, what happens when the suspect goes over it, you can yank it back and let the black and whites go through.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So he would get hit, but then you pull it back, and then you'd now be chasing, hopefully, a car with some punctured tires, right?
Yeah. And those spike strips, what they do is that they embed hollow tubes into the tire, the suspect's tires, and that way the air comes out slowly, because you don't want a blowout. You want that vehicle to slow down, to start dragging the tires and slowing them down so they don't lose control. You think about officer, you think about citizen safety. So they actually insert hollow tubes into the vehicle's tires to deflate them slowly.
So imagine like small straws made out of metal being put into a tire, and then the air slowly coming out of that tube.
Exactly.
And let's talk about pit maneuvers, Dave. We know that the CHP will do them on the freeway, not too often, but they will do it. The LAPD has different protocols and different standards that they follow, but we know that the CHP, we've actually seen them do it on the freeway, but they have to be going at a certain clip, as I understand.
Yeah, normally, now there's always exigent circumstances, but normally anything, around 35 miles per hour, that's a good speed. Now, they can do it a lot faster, of course, and when I say exigent circumstances, I think we've all seen it where they've even done it when a suspect was going around a corner real slow and they just pushed the rear end out from behind them. That's it. But I tell you what, the CHP, they also have those pit bumpers on them. If you ever see some of them, they have them where they wrap around. I remember speaking to a CHP officer a while back out of the Rancho office, and we were talking about that. Yeah, I mean, I thought I wish every black and white had those things, because it'd make it so much easier. I think that's why CHP, when you see them do a pit maneuver, a pursuit intervention technique, better known as a pit maneuver, it just comes out so sweet. I mean, that rear end just comes right around. Secondary unit will pull in front of the suspect, and the first unit that hit him would just take off. So that way there's no officers downstream, downwind.
Yeah, we've seen that wraparound cage you're talking about there, Dave, in front of the CHP cruiser cars. I actually stalled one time on the 5 freeway, Susie, and while I was calling AAA, the CHP came up behind me and used that same bumper to push me off the freeway. So it comes in handy for many things. Dave, I-5 right now, looks like this could be another attempt at exiting. Not quite sure yet, but we are keeping a close look. This looks like it's Parker Road.
Looks like a lot of other cars around this time, making a right turn there, and the CHP car really close to that
Here
car.
might come either he's
Going into a
gonna-
parking lot,
Yep.
perhaps going under that. Is this
That
a gas
awning there,
station?
mhm.
It looks like some sort of gas station, perhaps.
Is he just
awning.
giving up here?
Getting
it looks
out
like
of the
he
car.
is. Look at this. Hands up, door open. If Sky9 could lower the shot just a little, we can see more of the action there. But we're getting a little
Yeah, that
blocking from
awning
the
is
awning
really-
there.
Yeah.
But it looks like he did get out of the car. We don't see any major activity happening at this hour. But boy, after hours and hours, Susie, for these things to end the way they do, many times it just ends just
Yeah.
like that.
This is the first time we're seeing this car, come to a complete stop. At least in the time that we've been covering it. We know during the 6 o'clock hour, the car did come to a stop in the Mar Vista area just for a moment, though. Looks like that person is on the ground now and going to be arrested shortly. Another officer following behind that person. This has been coverage of a live pursuit here on KCAL 9. This all started in the 6:30 hour for us, but the car was actually stolen around 4:30 hour in the Santa Monica area. So who knows? Maybe they saw that they were running out of gas and thought, you know
think
what, this
so.
might be the time to stop.
You can see there the driver now on the ground there being handcuffed. Police checking the back of the car to see if there are any other people inside. Best news to report, obviously, there were no injuries. We may have seen some minor scrapes or side swipes
It's
during
really
the
close calls, yeah.
close calls during the heftier part of the pursuit. But right there in the Castaic area, this car got off, started moving very quickly, but then pulled into this, what looks like a service station right under the awning there. And the driver is now in custody right there.
Yeah, and we know that there was another person in this vehicle at one point. It was when we were covering it initially at 6:30, and then we pulled off because the LAPD had backed off because of just how dangerous the pursuit was. But during that hour, there was a passenger in the
Right.
passenger seat, a woman, we believe, and that person was either dropped off somewhere. We don't know where that was or what happened and what their relationship is, but we know that person is no longer in the car, as you saw the CHP officers go in and search the car for perhaps other people.
And the good news is, of course, this car was apparently stolen from a dealership in Santa Monica while the customer or the owner of this car was making a dealership visit. These two people jumped in and stole the car, and not long after that, I think you were saying, Susie, around 4:30, right, is when the car was stolen. They've been driving around town, and the pursuit eventually picked up around the 6 o'clock hour. Is that right?
That's right.
Something like that?
That's right. All right, so things are coming to an end here. I believe this is the gas station. We don't know the exact location right now, but we were on the 5 northbound. We had passed the 14 maybe about close to 10 minutes ago. So probably close to the Castaic area, I'm guessing. But it looks like other CHP officers are just kind of joining and making sure that things are all code 4 there. But it looks like the suspect himself now is under arrest.
My guess also, Susie, while he was going up the 5 freeway near Castaic, of course, the grade gets a little steeper.
Sure.
We see a lot of big rigs, a lot of box trucks heading up the grade to head north. And of course, traffic slows down, traffic gets heavier.
Yeah, just before the Grapevine.
Yeah, dark, windy roads right before the Grapevine. He may have seen a lot of red in front of him, and he decided to just call it quits here. So he didn't hesitate. He opened the door. He stuck his hands out, and he's been following orders right now. And in just a few seconds or so, we're going to see him possibly taken to another car there. But good thing is that for the most part, this pursuit, which had some very harrowing moments, ended up in a code 4 tonight, right? Indeed. So again, a stolen car pursuit unfolding here. It's come to an end in the Castaic area. The CHP did a really good job there. Again, we first brought you this pursuit on CBSN Los Angeles earlier today. This was a Subaru, was stolen from a dealership in Santa Monica right before 5 in the afternoon. Police chased this car from Santa Monica out towards South LA, but at times it got so dangerous that they actually had to call off the pursuit for the safety of others, because for a good portion of it, this pursuit was on surface streets, which of course always much more dangerous than a pursuit on freeways. The driver went to PCH in Malibu. The CHP picked it up. We picked it up right around 8:38 or something like that. So about 20 minutes or so. But as you see there, it looks like we have a code 4 in Castaic, a stolen car pursuit coming to an end. KCAL 9 News at 9 o'clock starts right now.